A Beautiful Mind was adapted for film in 2001, directed by Ron Howard and starring Russell Crowe as John Nash. The movie also won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. Here how we feel from A Beautiful Mind. The number 1 is do everything full of confidence. From this movie, make us feel that everything we do should be done with full confidence and not despair. That confidence should also be continuous so that it does not change our thinking. Number 2, every problem has their own way to solve. The film also showed that each problem has a different way out, but according to the comfort of the person or the way he or she overcomes the problem he faces. The number 3 is take time when it comes to find the solution. In every such problem, we should not be in a hurry finding a solution, because when we force the situation, it will have a very negative effect on ourselves. The right or appropriate solution is done with calm thinking and the need for a long time, because you want to think of a good decision or solutions. Number 4, belief will create a sense of certainty. The film also teaches us about how we get something real or unreal certainty with a belief that something will create a sense of certainty. The last one, last but not least, always fill our mind with positive things. The film also states that in daily life we should think of things that bring a positive aura, a positive feedback, and not burden the brain with various problems or things, because the brain also has certain limits.
For the next question is what and how we diagnose the problem from the movie. Okay. For the A Beautiful Mind movie, we can get there's 2 problems. The first problem is about the individual behavior personality, which is related to the topic 2. We can see that Professor John Nash, he has a mental illness which is schizophrenia. The mental illness has effect to their behavior in workplace when he be a lecturer at a university. For the second problem is John Nash lack of motivation from others. From what we see in the movie, he only get motivation from his wife for the beginning, which is Alicia. In the beginning, her friend not know what John Nash been through in her life, so that John Nash lack of motivation from their friends.
There are several messages that we found from the movie can be related to our studies, which is organizational behavior. Firstly, to achieve success, leave no stone unturned. As Nash was having hallucinations and mental health, he was unable to focus on his career that seemed to have reached a dead end. However, Alicia, Nash's wife, suggests that he meet his old rival Hansen to let him work out of the library and audit classes. Even though Nash and Hansen was not in a good term when they was a student at Princeton, Hansen always considered him a friend and even allows him to continue working at Princeton after a terrible first day. Based on chapter 2 under individual behavior, we can relate it with Ma's model of individual behavior. Firstly, motivational factors. It is a state of mind where the individual determines the level of desire, interest, and energy that will translate into action. There was a scene where John Nash once was harshly been rejected from a woman at a local bar, and that is what ultimately inspires his fruitful work for his thesis paper in the concept of governing dynamics, a theory in mathematical economics. Next is situational factors. Factors which constrain or facilitate employees' behavior and performance. For example, Parcher, a defense agent, once said that if Nash stopped working for him, he will also stop, to keep the Russians know that Nash was working for Parcher, which ostensibly to thwart a Soviet plot. The third factor is ability factors. The natural aptitudes and learned capabilities required to successfully complete a task. Based on the movie, Nash has a very intellectual mind and honored by his fellow professors for his achievement in mathematics, and goes on to win the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economics for his revolutionary work on game theory. Lastly is role perception factors. The extent to which a person accurately understands the job duties, which is roles, assigned to or expected of him or her. Also, beliefs about what behavior is required to achieve the desired results. From the movie, Nash has a good understanding about his role as a husband and a father to his child to accept that all three people he knows are in fact part of his hallucinations and try to live with his abnormal condition.
What I have learned in the movie A Beautiful Mind is based on the life of American mathematician John Nash, where it tells of a touching love story and insights that reveal mental illness such as schizophrenia. This suffering slowly took over his mind, and I saw his life crumble around him. The message that I found in this movie was he overcome a mental illness largely through reasons. The lesson appears to be the superiority of the will and mind over all else. This is because he abandons his students, isolates his colleges, and substitutes a fruitless and all-consuming obsession of his research. He is eventually admitted to the hospital, where he is forced to accept his condition and try to rebuild the shattered pieces of his life with the help of electric shock therapy and regular medication. In organization behavior, it involves the study of what people think, feel, and do in and around the organization, as well as investigating the effects of individuals, groups, and structures on behavior, and how the behavior affect organizational performance. And I agree with that, as John Nash did, when Nash and his college friends clarify how to approach a group of women at a bar, he is inspired. Hanson quotes Adam Smith and advocates every man for himself. But Nash argues that a cooperative approach will increase success change and develops a new concept of governing dynamics. He publishes an article on his theory, which earns him a position at MIT, where he selects Sol and Bender over Hanson to join him. Here it can be concluded that why we need to study organizational behavior because it is to understand, predict, and control behavior, as well as factor of organizational and personal success of a person himself. This organizational behavior can also be like to a person's way of thinking, where it is to develop one's mental model.
Okay, based on our review about suggestion in minimizing the problem in this movie is we should have a strong motivational support from the surrounding. Based on the movie A Beautiful Mind, John Nash has a very big supporter that is always beside him during his ups and downs, which is his wife Alicia. Alicia always supports her husband through rounds of hospitalizations, enduring his erratic, aggressive behavior, and many more. It can be related with organizational behavior in topic 5, which is motivation in equity principle. Equity means everyone should receive the same treats and outcomes regardless of age, behavior, and others. It includes John Nash, who is schizophrenia fighter. Other than that, we should minimizing attributions towards other people, which is John Nash has many perceptions from other people because of his suffering with an illness named schizophrenia. Despite his genius, people tend to take him for granted because his behavior and actions are uncontrollable. However, in Chapter 3, Perceptions and Learning in Organizations, attributions theory have been categorized under two situations which are internal and external. Internal attribution means perception from internal characteristics such as personality traits, while external attribution means perceptions due to a situation or event outside of person control.
So for the third suggestion in minimizing problem for A Beautiful Mind movie, it's openness to experience. The main character in this movie, called John Nash, experienced a variety of challenging life experiences throughout his career. He must learn to change by adapting to his environment. He rather not reading a book and going to classes like his friend. He also decided to observe his surrounding for hours to find his original idea for writing. So in this movie, John spent hours in a day to observe a bird and also people playing soccer to come out with his original idea for his writing. So by doing that, people assuming him a weirdo and keep making fun of him. So John Nash had to adapt to something new in his life according to his environment rather than doing things in his own ways. So it is related with topic 2 about individual behavior in Big 5 personality model. Like openness to experience, a person has to link it to higher creativity and adaptability to changes. For the fourth suggestion in minimizing problem in this A Beautiful Mind movie, it's withdraw from the stressor. So John Nash was pressured to produce his own writing by those around him, like his friends, his opponent, and also his professor. So he became obsessed with numbers and various formulation as he keep observe his surrounding and keep trying to come up with his original idea for his writing. So therefore, John Nash has always been compared to his friends like Newton, Mendel, and Darwin, and this made him like keep muttering to himself in the corner for years. So there a part where John Nash also lost himself and throw angry to his roommate. So his roommate had to calming him. So all these are related with the topic 6 about stress that can affect all aspects in a person's life, especially their mental health. As for John Nash has a mental illness such like schizophrenia. So the stressor will make his mental illness become worse.